stand up on this one, bro. We ain't taking it, these gals, get the wins up. Big Miami Dolphins in the building, put the fins up. We ain't taking it, these gals, get the wins up. Big Miami Dolphins in the building, put the fins up. Put the fins up. Let me see you put your fins up. Put the fins up. Yeah, get in. Let me see you put your fins up. It's a hot sunny day out in Hard Rock. Ain't nobody coming in to winning, it's a door block. All I heard in the off season was hella talk. Then it came time to play ball, now it's 2 o'clock. We ain't scared of anyone, we knock opponents down. All of a sudden Miami the hottest show in town. And everybody wanna be like us. Well, Tyreek got it, leaving everyone in the dust. Yeah, they don't wanna be believers, they thinking them we some phonies. So we had to go and hit them with 70 on them ponies. 2 times undefeated, that's a game plan. If you ain't stand behind a quarterback, you ain't a fan. We got the D-pass run game trifecta. And to a man, now to break a franchise record. Some Super Bowl bound, they gon' see the way for real. Some on sniper on that, they got confirmed kills. We ain't taking it, these gals, get the wins up. Big Miami Dolphins in the building, put the fins up. We ain't taking it, these gals, get the wins up. Big Miami Dolphins in the building, put the fins up. Put the fins up. Let me see you put your fins up. Put the fins up. Get in. Let me see you put your fins up. Let me see you put your fins up. Let me see you put your fins up.
What's up, everybody, on a warm to a Tuesday down here in South Florida. Hit 93 today. I mean, it's hot down here. My wife, as I mentioned, is up in North Carolina visiting with some family. She's going to be gone for about the next 6 or 7 days. I'm here holding the fort down. So let me just let you know what's going on. I got the little dog over here who's not too happy that I'm broadcasting. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween. Hope it's not too scary for you. I put some candy in a bucket out front, so I hope the little kitties and goblins, when they come by, just grab the candy and don't ring the doorbell so the dog goes crazy. Because, oh my God, if he hears the doorbell, I'm just going to have to stop for about 5 minutes because he will go absolutely ballistic. So we may get kids. We may get kids in this neighborhood. I've said before, I live in a guard-gated community, so the kids feel real safe coming through here, but they may just go over to the synagogue and just have some fun over there instead of knocking on people's doors. Fingers crossed. Hopefully that's what happens, but we shall see. So, how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing after a big win on Sunday? And then, of course, we've got a trip heading out to Germany. A lot of fans heading over there. They're holding a game over there despite the war being in Israel, despite Germany being threatened, despite the German chancellor saying don't travel. NFL said to heck with it. We're going to send their boys over there. They're going to play the game. And let's just say a prayer and hopefully nothing stupid goes on over in Germany. I just can't imagine. I don't want to think about it. You guys maybe have seen Munich, the movie, and what happened with the Olympics, and it just, these people are nuts. They're absolutely freaking nuts, and I wouldn't put it past them whatsoever to do something stupid or try something stupid. So I hope the NFL's got Rambo and a couple other guys ready to do some security over there and keep these guys absolutely safe. That's all I'm going to say about it. So anyway, let me get to the game, some of the results of the game from Sunday. Not much to talk about. Dolphins took care of business. Tua took care of business. Tyreek took care of business. There was only one item that I had a little, when I started looking at the box score and looking at what really happened. I mean, as we saw, Mac Jones is absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. The Patriots, you look at Josh McDaniels out in Las Vegas, and you're realizing Tom Brady carried all these guys. He carried Belichick. He carried McDaniels. It seems like without Tom Brady, these guys are just average. And obviously, Tua is spanking Bill Belichick, 6 in a row against the Patriots. So, Patriots don't scare me. I mean, even though this is Halloween, the Patriots don't scare me whatsoever. So let's take a look at some of these stats here I want to show you and see if you can pick out something that may be of concern going into this game with the Kansas City Chiefs and with future games. And I'll show you what I'm looking at. Let me click the button here. All right, so this is the box score from the last game. And it's pretty easy to take a look at. Why is this not doing? All right, so there's the full screen. So what you can see, and I'm not going to really go too much over on the Patriots side of things. Let's just talk about the Miami Dolphins side right now. So I see Tua Tagovailoa went 30 for 45, 324 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception as we saw, and 2 sacks. Okay. And then they list the rushing down below. Raheem, Jeff Wilson, Tua himself on scrambles, and then Salvin Ahmed. Receiving, stellar. Jalen Waddle, 7 for 121. Breakout game for him. Tyreek Hill, 8 for 112. Both of them were targeted 12 and 13 times. So 25 of the 45 passes went to Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill, and they caught 15 of them. Very nice. So what do you think concerns me when I look at this box score? From a coach's perspective, when you analyze this against a team like the Patriots, what do you think is concerning? Now, I understand most fans don't like to hear anything concerning. It was fantastic. We won the game. Everything is fine. Tua balled out, and we are just sitting pretty. But I'd like you to put some thought into this. I mean, if you guys don't like to put thought into things, I can just shut this down. You guys can just say, oh, it was a fantastic game. They won by 2 touchdowns and blah, 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 blah. And you don't want to hear what a coach looks at going after this game. So if you don't like it, just go ahead and leave now. So the rest of you who stayed, let me show you something here. Actually, I don't have to show you. It's staring you in the face. What am I looking at? Well, what I'm looking at in an offense is balance. Balance. Tua had to throw, and I say had to throw 45 times to beat New England Patriots. Why did he have to throw 45 times? Because the 26 runs, and if you take Tua's runs out of it, so let's take Tua's runs out of it, and we're going to see 20 runs, 20. You take his 6 out and take his 8 yards out. The Dolphins got 20 carries for 70 yards. You understand where the math is? I took Tua's numbers out because those were scrambles. That would leave you with 20 carries for 70 yards. Little over 3.5 yards per carry. Remember, we were looking at Raheem Mostert, and he was getting 6, 7 plus. Devon Achane was getting 12.1 plus. They won this game. They won it by 2 touchdowns, but Tua had to throw 45 times to get there. The running game was completely absent. Completely. I mean, you can just look yourself and see nothing was happening. Raheem Mostert, 13 times for 46 yards. My math, that's a little over 4 yards per carry. Jeff Wilson, a little over 4 yards a carry. Salvin Ahmed, point something. 2 carries for 1 yard, 0.5 yards per carry. That's a problem. Now, we all know what the problem was. The problem was the offensive line was dropping like flies. With the offensive line dropping like flies, Tua had to throw the ball 45 times. He was sacked twice, had 1 interception, and overcame and actually beat the New England Patriots 31-17. Why is this concerning? Because if you can't run the ball, if you cannot run the ball successfully, then that dreaded word then comes out. That dreaded word, or actually hyphenated word, is one-dimensional. If you become one-dimensional in the NFL, you're in deep crap. Completely deep crap. Not a lot of people like to look at that. I mean, it's right there for you to see. I'm not making this up. Not my stats. You can just look at this yourself. and do your post-mortem. If you're a fan, pick up the coffee the next morning and let's see what happened and listen to all the pundits talk. But just do your own little research. Look at that. That, to me, is a very scary Halloween. That, to me, is, hey, guys, Tua is balling, but you're putting a little bit too much pressure on the bro. You're basically saying, hey, Tua, we can't get shit done up front. Offensive line, hurt, crapped out. Running backs, can't do anything. If you, Jalen, and Tyreek don't get this done, I don't know what we're going to do. And I'm sure Mike McDaniel looked at that and said, yeah, we got a problem. We have a big problem. Nobody likes to look at the problems. Barry, you're a hater and all this kind of crap. If my video yesterday about Jalen Ramsey doesn't convince you that I'm not a hater, I can't help you. I just call it as I see it. I heard what Jalen Ramsey said. I loved what Jalen Ramsey said. I saw the game. I look at the game from a very, very intricate perspective to see what's working and what's not working. A lot of fans scream, moan, bitch, something happens, but they don't look at the actual story behind the game and how that story translates to moving forward. Not too much to do with the post-mortem. The body's dead. It's in cold storage. It's stuck in a morgue somewhere. It's nice to look at the stats and come back to it. But there's not really much more to do with the game that's passed. You've watched the films. I'm sure the guys were watching films on the way on a flight over to Germany in between sleeping. And you already know what the problem is. Offensive line. Offensive line. Offensive line. The bodies are hitting the floor. The bodies that are there aren't blocking. And you're forcing Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle to carry the load at this point. Luckily, you have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Tua to carry the load. Imagine if one of those three just wasn't there or something happens again to any one of the three, how the wheels may come off if there's no offensive line and you can't run. That's my concern going into the Chiefs game. The Chiefs looks like crap. And I hate to break it to people, but trying to relate scores of victory, Dolphins scored 70 on the Broncos, and the Broncos beat the Chiefs, which means, we should be 70-point favorites over the Kansas City Chiefs. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. As everyone says, any given Sunday. But what makes one game go a certain way versus another way is basically how personnel matches up. Does the personnel of the team you're playing play to your weakness or your strength? Those guys couldn't cover shit when Tyreek and Waddle and those guys were doing stuff. They were just eating them up with the pass. Patrick Mahomes doesn't have that, which means there's a very good chance that the Dolphins could prevail this weekend. Absolutely could prevail. But this is concerning. This is something for people to absolutely look at and say, hey, Dolphins couldn't run. And as far as I know, that problem hasn't been fixed. Teron Armstead still won't be there. Nope. Isaiah Wynn still on IR. Down 2. Connor Williams, I believe, would be back, and I guess they might move Eichenberg back to guard. That's possible. But today was the NFL trade deadline. Chris Greer didn't take a swing. Not that we know of. Nothing. No, there are no reinforcements coming, guys. He didn't get out there and make a deal or cut a deal to get anybody to bring them into the house. It is what it is. One of my tweets today is I put a gif of a guy playing poker, and I went, this is Chris Greer. He just pushed all in. He went all in with the offensive line as it is. So when you're looking at these numbers and you're like, okay, so we can get that fixed. We can do this. We're going to have Devon Achane back in a week or two after the bye. We're going to have Teron Armstead back. He's actually flying over there. We're going to get healthy. Go back and look at some of these running stats on the game. Let's go back to the Bills game and look at the running stats. You want me to show them to you? Let me see it. Let me see if I can pull up the Bills, because at that point everybody was healthy, right? So if everybody was healthy, I don't remember. I think Teron Armstead went down during that game, but I don't think he. I think he played somewhat. So let's look at the box score so you can compare what happened then as well. Okay, you ready for this? All right. Big difference here. Big difference. Tua only had to throw 35 times. He didn't have to throw 45 times. Could have thrown, but they probably took him out the game. Devon Achane went for eight carries for 101 yards. But wait, as Lee Corso says on game day, but wait, one of those carries was for 55 yards. Take off that one carry, and whew, man, you're looking really crappy. Take those 55 yards, and you're at basically 18 for 87. Again, less than 3 yards a carry. So Barry, what are you saying? What are you saying? We're in trouble? I'm just saying we had an opportunity. Chris Greer had an opportunity to call somebody today. Make a deal. I saw one of the guys from the Vikings, all pro. Make a deal. Get somebody in here. He didn't. He for whatever reason, and I'll tell you something somebody said earlier, but he pushed all in and said, this is it. These are the guys I'm going to go with. This is our season. I'm pushing all in, putting all the chips on the table, and these are the guys I'm going to go with. Somebody had said earlier in discussions, and it struck me, and I'm like, nah, that can't be true, man. That can't be true. Here's what the guy said. The guy said that, and when I read it, it kind of stunned me, and I want to get your thoughts on it. He said he thinks that Chris Greer, I'm not going to say who it was, he thinks that Chris Greer is shocked by the success of the team this year. Didn't expect this kind of success this year. Was hoping to get through the year, maybe make a playoff run, and then get to next year where he doesn't have to spend any draft picks and they can do something to get the salary cap numbers correct. Wasn't like mortgaging this season, but it was like, hey, if we can go, into the playoffs and wild card or something, that'll be fine. Next year will be the year. Next year will be that year. I will have draft picks, I will have money, and we can make it happen. And I think this guy was saying was he got surprised by the success of this year and has basically said, just let it ride. Let's just see what happens. Let it ride. And if we can get through this season and get to the next year, I can't imagine a GM would do that, seeing that this team is 6-2 and is playing the way it is. Why you wouldn't go out and get if not the best, but get some supplemental linemen in here to help with this running game. You think Achane's going to get it back, and as soon as he comes back, he's going to be back at 12.1 yards per carry? Understand, that game, he had 101 yards. That was against the Buffalo Bills, and 55 came on one chunk, and then nothing else. Nothing else. That's the kind of stuff I look at when I look at numbers. I dig in. And I say, hey, there's an anomaly here that's consistent with the losses. Not the wins, with the losses. And people get pissed off because I try to point stuff out and say, start looking at this. Start looking. And then today I waited and I sat there until 3:59 going, okay, who you picking up, Chris? Who you picking? Nobody. So, anyway. That's what he got. Let me take some comments here. Hey, James Steele, how are you? Teams don't like to get fleeced by Greer. Yeah, I bet that's very true. Hi, Daniel. Daniel says, that's what I said. Achane. California, what's up, brother? Just making the playoffs ain't good enough for me, especially with the offense we have. I don't think it's going to be good enough for a lot of people. I bet you the day, if something were to happen badly and the Dolphins would lose in the playoffs early, you'd see a lot of apologists the next day. Oh, we'll get him next year. But if you ask people today, the expectations of this team is wild card ain't going to cut it. First game bounce ain't going to cut it. People are going to want to see a deep run in the playoffs. Hey, Pablo, what's going on? ESPN Get Up today voted on who is the best team in the AFC. Jets, Jacksonville, Ravens, Bengals, Dolphins not even mentioned. Well, Stephen A. mentioned them today. Get Up, nope. Didn't. I think it was, Pablo, tell me if I'm wrong. I think it was Greeny, Dominique Foxworthy, Jeff Saturday, and I forget who the other person was on there. It might have been Orlovsky. But no, they didn't even mention the Dolphins as one of the top teams. Eagles game had 3 starting offensive linemen out plus X and Ramsey. All right, so forget X and Ramsey. They don't play up front. They don't block. They're on the other team. They're on defense. So I don't care about that. Wasn't talking about defense. Was talking about offense. And in that game, let me just put it this way. Let's take that at face value. You are absolutely correct. We are 6-2 right now in a 17-game season. Played 8 games of a 17-game season. Not free agency, what do you call it? Trade deadline went by today. Greer didn't go for anybody. From what you've seen, a layperson sitting at home on Sunday, drinking beers and eating chips, watching the game. Do you think the offensive line, as is right now, is going to make it through 17 games unharmed? That's all I have to say. I've seen enough people go down, and I know with the lack of contact during practice, there is no way this line will stay intact for 17 games. Ain't gonna happen. So when you say that 3 starting offensive linemen were out, yeah, and what makes you think that's going to be anything different for the rest of the season? If you've seen the revolving door of injuries thus far in the offensive line, wouldn't you as a prudent person say, yeah, I might want to go sign a couple more guys. I need some bodies to plug in because there's no way I can run this triage unit as an offensive line for the rest of the season. Why did other people go out and supplement their offensive line? Why did other people go out and supplement their defensive line? See what the 49ers did today? Oh my God. 49ers went out and got Chase Young. You're talking about a team that's lost their last 3 games, but say, hey, we need to get back on our horse, and we need to help, which Bosa? Nick Bosa on one side, you're going to have Chase Young on the other. You see the difference? Hey, I understand that we're not as good as we thought we were going to be. We were 5-0. We've lost 3 in a row. Let us bring some more help in because we're looking down the road. It's the beginning of November. We're looking at late December and saying, we know what's going to happen. Hey, if Nick Bosa goes down like he did before, we need somebody like Chase Young. If they're both playing, we're really good. I think it was the Vikings who went out and got that offensive lineman, and they traded for him. You have to foresee that what you've already had is very, very possible to happen in the future. Past proves future. So your comment is exactly why I look at it and go, hey, man, you didn't sign anybody. Do you think these guys... Raise your hand right now. I'm going to ask you a dead question. Who is this? I got game. You think Teron Armstead's going to make it through the full season? Be completely honest. Is Teron Armstead going to make it through the next 9 games? Actually 8 because he's not playing this week, I don't think. You think Teron Armstead's going to make it through the season? If his history, if past proves future, if his history is, no, man, he's kind of plastic, why aren't you bringing somebody in? You're down to your 3rd string left tackle. Armstead, out. Lamb, out. Not Lamb, Win. So 2nd string tackle. But if he goes down, you're into 3rd string again. I'm not making this up. I'm just telling you. Oh, look at this. Yeah, he will if we put his jersey on a fridge and put it out there. Dude was in shape. He was in shape. Yeah. Oh, so you're saying yes, he will make it through because he's already hurt? How'd that work out last year? Are you telling me you're only allowed to get hurt once? Is that what you're saying? Come on, man. This is me. I talk to you every single week. Be real. Don't give me the hopium. Be real. Jesse, he's already been hurt, so he's fulfilled his quota of being hurt. There are no more hurts coming for Teron Armstead. He's filled it up. He's done for the year. He's not going to get hurt anymore. That's what you're saying? Ooh, yeah, he was out for 5 games. Okay, so what does that mean? Yeah, he was out for 5 games. So you think he's completely... Which injury was it? What injury was he just trying to heal? Oh, was it the knee or the back or the toe? You're an offensive lineman. Do you realize how easy it is to get injured when you've already been injured? Vipey says, keep Liam away from Armstead, please. James said something here. Where's James? I missed his comment here. What's he say? You guys are fools if you think Greer isn't one of the best GMs in the league. I don't think he's bad. I just don't understand why he didn't make a move to supplement the offensive line, which we all see has been porous at best. So it is what it is. It's possible that Miami had no funds to recruit. You had a salary cap, but if you're trading and trying to make a deal with the money as well, asking someone to sign for X dollars, trading for this or that, whatever. Obviously, a lot of people are saying they didn't want to use the draft capital from next year. He wasn't going to trade any more picks. Barry, if he's close, the coach wants T. Armstead for the playoff run. No, I understand that. I understand what the coach wants. What I'm saying is, if you look at the history, nothing else, if you look at the history, and I'm telling you as a head coach and a GM, you can't hope it's going to be okay. You can't say to yourself, I think we might make it. Let's just stay the way it is. I could be wrong. Maybe that's what they are thinking. Maybe they're risking everything on the hope that a couple guys can stay healthy. I'm not sure, but that's what you're saying it is. The O-line is what it is. That's a good question here. Tom Stockwell. What's up, Tom? I wonder what the conversation was between Greer, McDaniel, and the offensive line coach, Butch Barry. Can't tell you. Obviously, we're not privy to that. But right now, he's running a mash unit on the offensive line. And you're going to see Sunday. Well, I mean, we're definitely going to see Sunday what happens with the offensive line. That's been my focus at this point. I keep looking at that because I look at, in order for Tua to perform on a long-term basis against some of the best defenses in the league, you can't become one-dimensional. If you become one-dimensional, you're in big trouble. Just telling you, everybody likes the big stats and what he's doing, and not going to say the thing everybody says about them not playing good teams. I'm talking about personnel. So as I talked about personnel, I got to play something for you. But before we go to that, but somebody just said, Pablo said what ESPN on Get Up said this morning. So let's take a look at the other guy on ESPN and who he ranked and how he ranked them. And we can go over this list. I'd love to see what you guys think about it. So if you haven't seen it, this is Stephen A's list.
Yeah! What's up, everybody? You know what time it is. It's time for the A list. Keep in mind, the list is fluid. The list is fluid, okay? Let's go to number 5 right here. Give it to me. Bam! The Cincinnati Bengals. I understand they're 4-3 on the season. Club Shay Shay. I understand this Sergeant Friday, but the bottom line is this. Have you seen these brothers balling? Have you seen Joe Burrow getting it together? Did you see that calf injury is fully healed? Did you watch him and Jamar Chase connecting with one another? Watch out. Here come the Cincinnati Bengals. That's number 5 on the list.
So what do you think about the Cincinnati Bengals? They beat the 49ers, but the 49ers are on a bit of a skid right now, but Joe Burrow did look impressive. I mean, Jamar Chase and him connected, and they looked really, really good. We'll come back and talk about that as well. Let's see who number 4 is.
Let's go to number 4. Give it to me right now. Bam! The Baltimore Ravens. Why? Lamar Jackson. That's why. That defense. That's why atop the AFC North with a 6-2 record. That's why this is who they are. We understand who they are, what they're capable of, the exceptional coach in the Harbaugh, the defense filled with Rough Riders, an offense led by Lamar Jackson. We know what they bring to the table. They're a top 4 team. I'm not going to put them top 3 this week, though. I'll give it.
All right, so he's got the Ravens and Bengals at 5-4. I don't agree with the Bengals. I'm not sure. I think even with the 49ers losing 3 games, you're going to see him. Before I go into this, I'm going to let him go through all his top 5, and I want to get from you guys what you think, and then we'll talk about it.
To this team right here, give it to me right now, please. Bam! The Miami Dolphins, the most prolific offense in the National Football League, with the scariest offensive player this generation may have ever seen. You see this brother Tyreek Hill and what he's doing right now. On pace for 2,000 yards now. Still doing his thing. Tua Tagovailoa, an MVP candidate as well. Of course, you know the rest of the crew that they got with Waddle and the boys. Their defense ain't that shabby. The bottom line, they handled the New England Patriots, but more importantly, they're still atop the AFC North. We understand that. The Buffalo Bills are on the come up. They stomped them a few weeks ago, but we know the Buffalo Bills have been up and down. I can't throw the Dolphins to the side. I got to give them some love. They ain't top 2, though. Let me give you top 2.
All right, so he's got the Dolphins over the Ravens and the Bengals. I agree with that. I agree that the Dolphins should be ranked higher than the Ravens and the Bengals. I just think number 4 and 5, I would probably keep the Ravens at 4. My number 5, probably to me, it would either be the Detroit Lions or the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not going to blow the Kansas City Chiefs out just because they lost to the Broncos with, Patrick Mahomes sick.
Give it to me right here, please. Give it right here. You see this team? Did you see the Jacksonville Jaguars? Are you paying attention with Trevor Lawrence and the crew? Doug Peterson and the crew won 5 straight. That's what's coming up. Now, I thought they started the season off a bit slow. 27-0, down first half, come back, beat Staley and the Chargers in the playoffs, okay? And then they start up the season slow, but ever since then, they've got it going. I could make a legitimate argument they're the best team right now in the league the way they're flowing. I'm just not going to do that, and here is the reason why.
All right, so I've been watching this Jaguar team and watching what they're doing, and it's Halloween, and the Jaguars are scary. The Jaguars are on a roll. They're hot. They have all the pieces together. They're really playing good football. The Jaguars, to me, are my scary Halloween pick for the NFL at this point. I would not want to be getting in front of the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. Some of you guys may disagree, but if you've seen them play, they are really good. So, of course, you know who number 1 is.
Number 1 right here, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I'll be there this Sunday in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Lincoln Financial Field to be exact. I'll be in attendance when the Philadelphia Eagles host the Dallas Cowboys. They got the best record in football. Jalen Hurts is doing this thing, coming on stronger. A.J. Brown, a league MVP candidate. 6 consecutive games with at least 125 receiving yards. You know what time it is and we know what the Eagles can do. Defensively, they got to get it together a little bit better.
All right, so there's your list that he says. As Pablo had said in the comment earlier, the Dolphins didn't even get mentioned on another panel. So you got 5 Bengals, 4 Ravens, 3 Dolphins, 2 Jaguars, number 1 Eagles. Left off the Lions, left off the Chiefs, which could be good or could be bad. So what do you guys think? Yeah, he said no 49ers. He didn't put them up because they lost 3 in a row. James Steele says left off the Chiefs, clown. Yeah, let's see what here. McDaniel said a couple days ago that they weren't looking for anybody. He's talking about the trade. Eagles refs, he means. Let's see what else here. Smith is a homer. Come on, guys. Put some stuff we can talk about. Ooh, okay. They're going to come for you here, man. They're going to come for you. You're going to go ahead and put the Ravens are better than Miami? Oh, man. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Not thus far. But they're good. They're good. Daniel, yeah, the Jags. Everybody's saying the Jags. If you haven't seen them play, go ahead and dial up something on the NFL Network and take a look. They're really, really pretty good. I mean, really pretty good. Coach well as well. Hey, Richard Conti. My dad's old accountant was named Richard Conti. The 49ers and Chiefs should still be on the list, in my opinion. But then who you bouncing? If you're putting the 49ers and the Chiefs, then you got to bounce two people. So if one is the Eagles, two is the Jags, three is the Dolphins, are you going to bounce the Ravens and the Bengals and put up the Chiefs and 49ers? We're in that part of the season now where, injuries and refs and travel and everything else is starting to take its toll. And I cannot believe that 5-3 that they, what's their name? The 49ers have lost 3 in a row. But it does show you something can happen very quickly. Things can go south very quickly. Oh, so you would have pulled the Ravens and the Bengals off. Okay, all right. Vipey says, hey, Vipey, they're going to come for you right now. We can beat Baltimore, but I see us losing to the Jags. Jags are tough. There's just no way around it. They don't seem to have much of a weakness right now. They've got Etienne running the ball very well. Of course, Trevor Lawrence is a stud at quarterback. They got a really strong offensive line. They can come after you. They can definitely come after you. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Crazy Dolphins guy says, Lions. I'm a big Dan Campbell fan. Big, huge Dan Campbell fan. If they didn't stub their toe and get destroyed by the Ravens, I mean, what was the final score of that game? 35-7, 35-3. At one point, it was 35-0. I think that's one of the reasons why people have pulled them off as of right now. Hey, George, let me see here. Still 9 more games, 5 tough teams on the schedule. Yeah, Monday night, I may broadcast a Monday night game because it's a doozy. The Cowboys against the Eagles. That might be a game where some of the Fog guys, if you guys want to hang out, let's see if we can do that because the wife's out of town. I ain't got nothing going on. Monday night game, that's a game. In Philadelphia, in the chill of Philadelphia, the way the Cowboys are playing against I think that, and he didn't have the Cowboys in the top 5. Everything the Cowboys are doing. Now, if you notice something in here, and the way things are going, it's shaping up for a great playoff run. It's shaping up for a great conference championship with so many teams looking very, very strong. Lions are good. When was their last playoff win? Here's a trivia question, Tom. when was the last time the Eagles won a playoff game? That would be very interesting. Let's see here. Yeah, it's in Philly on Monday night. Yeah, it's crazy up there. I went to school near there, and trust me, boys on what was it, South Street? It's crazy up there. Absolutely crazy up there. Finn's fan says he loves Dan Campbell as well. He seems like the type of guy that you'd like to play for. I mean, he's one of those guys, hey man, let me strap on a helmet and run through a wall for you. You always have the right stuff to say. You're talking about, what's his face? Tehran. Yes, he may get injured, but trading picks, they don't want to trade the picks. That's Mike McDaniel says finally wants to spend next year. Prove Chris facilitates HC's personal plan. Okay, yeah, I could get that. So this was when the last time, this is the answer to that question. This is when the last time the Eagles, 93? Wow. That's a long time. That's a long time. Dan Campbell was the head coach at Miami for a while, did a good job. Yeah, he's complete. There are 2 personalities between Mike McDaniel and Dan Campbell. Mike McDaniel's that cool dude that you wouldn't mind just hanging out with and watching some jazz in a club or something. And Dan Campbell's the guy that's going to get you in the weight room and start throwing that weight around. Man, he gets people pumped. Love his locker room. Love his locker room speeches. Hey, Kaka, can you put notifications for Monday night? Okay, yeah, I'm going to put it up. Let's go for it. Let's go for the Monday night game. So, that being said, let me tell you, let's see, what do I have next to go to? Oh, all right. So, a lot of people got pissed off at me when I was talking last week and I was talking about the one read quarterback thing that everybody was out there. And people said, and I even posted a video. I posted this video by Darius Slay, who is the one of the cornerbacks for the Philadelphia Eagles, or safety. Listen to what he says. I mean, you guys have seen this before. I've played it, but it makes a lot of sense with what I'm going to show you.
And with Tua being a very, very accurate quarterback and great decision maker, our game plan was just basically, make him make more than one read. And
all right, I'm going to stop right there. Nobody, I don't know anybody, maybe there are some trolls out there, nobody said that Tua is only a one-read quarterback. What he just said is make him go to another read. Make him come off of his first read and go to a second read. Not that he only has one and doesn't know what to do. It's, oh, this one's not ready. I need to come off of here and go someplace else. Two things can happen when you do that. Obviously, confusion. Number two, and probably most importantly, the defensive line can get to him. And I said in my video, if you do not have the personnel to confine him to one read, if you don't have the personnel to make him react, meaning you don't have the guys up front to bring the heat, then it doesn't matter because he'll go through 2, 3, and 4 reads. And I'm going to prove that to you because something happened Sunday where it's like, I screamed and I went, that's what I'm talking about. And nobody understood it. They said, oh, he goes through all his progress. That's not what he said. He goes, our game plan with the Philadelphia Eagles was to get him off of his first read. So he's looking and he sees his first read. That's not there. And now he's got to look someplace else. Obviously, he can make a second read. And when he makes that second read, hopefully the guys up front are on him. Huge distinction there. Huge distinction that a lot of trolls and two-and-honors didn't understand. People aren't saying that he locks onto a first read and he doesn't do anything else but look at this first read and everything else going on in the field he's not paying attention to. That's not what it's about. When you're talking about saying a quarterback and taking him off his first read, it's making him take the time to, he's left-handed, so I'm left-handed, and that's not there. Now I've got to look here. And hopefully in that, oh shit, he's not open, my guys are on you. And I said in the video, you have to have that personnel up front to get in his face. And to cover the receivers, to take away that first read. Because that second read, if you haven't got to him, as I'm going to show you, is deadly. A lot of people miss that. Let's continue.
get on his, his read fast, you know what I'm saying? Because he's a great guy. He's on time. And that's what it's like. He's like a Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? If you ever seen Drew Brees play, he's a guy that's very much on time, know how to throw in spots that's, they expect the receiver.
Knows how to throw a spot. Anticipation would be that word, where he expects the receiver to be based upon what he's seeing in his reads.
To be there. So our job was like to disguise our defense as long as possible to make.
Disguise the defense as long as possible. What that means is I'm going to let you think I'm in man, but I may have a safety over the top. I'm disguising it. If you're running up, and you have to have the personnel who can execute this. If you don't have the personnel and I can see pre-snap, understand there's pre-snap and post-snap. If I can see pre-snap that you're not in the right defense, I'm going to kill you. I'm speaking if I'm Tua. If you're showing me pre-snap, which means I'm not confused, I know exactly what's going on, you're toast. So there was a couple things he said just very quickly there that a lot of people don't understand. Take you off your first read, make you go to second and third. Of course you can take second and third reads, you're an NFL quarterback. But if you go to your second or third read, I'm hoping to have a defensive end in your face. Number one. Number two, me as a defensive back, I need to be able to disguise and confuse you and not let you know what I'm gonna do pre-snap. And I want the onus on you to make your decision post-snap. If you make your decision pre-snap and I can't do it, you're going to burn me. So what happened pre-snap? Pre-snap, Tua sees Tyreek over here. He sees him do the exact same thing he did against the Eagles, the exact same thing. He goes, the safety is up too far. At this point, Tua already knows how fast Tyreek is. He understands if I can get this guy to bite, Tyreek's going to run right past him. Think I'm lying? Go rewind the tape. The safety, who is supposed to cover over the top, takes a step forward. He takes that step forward. Tua's looking right at him. He sees this guy, pre-snap, step. You're toast. Think I'm lying? Go look at the tape. The guy takes a step forward. As this 4-2 receiver is going this way, he splits a double team, halo, touchdown. If you know what you're looking at and understand what the game plan is, it's pretty easy to see. Slow it down, rewind it, watch the safety on that touchdown pass, take a step forward. Once he took that step forward, Tua can see him do that. So I've got my pre-snap read, and I know you're toast. You're on an island out there because there's no way you're going to turn around and catch Tyreek. So that's what he's saying right here.
Kim second guessed his read.
Take your seats. Another.
All right, so I'm going to come back to that video. You guys understand that? Okay, so if you understand that, this video here that Acho put up is even confirmation on what I'm telling you, and he doesn't even discuss it. He blows through something here, but I'm going to dissect this for you. Watch this. Just watch this. This is incredible. It tells you everything about why people need to take Tua off of his first read, and the other side is you have to have the personnel and what Tua can see pre-snap. It's amazing. Okay.
Team meeting. After the Dolphins game yesterday, Jalen Waddle, star receiver, tweeted out the cheetah effect. What in the hell is the cheetah effect? Let's take a look. This is Tyreek Hill, the man they call Cheetah. Many of you already know this. What you might not know, he has an NFL record over 1,000 yards receiving through 8 games. Tyreek Hill, number 10 at the bottom of the screen. Now, I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. Bear with me. The defense all week long in meetings, they have circled this dude, and they have said, do not let Tyreek Hill beat you. The defensive coordinator walks into the meeting room. He yells at everybody and says, hey, you keep your eyes on Tyreek Hill wherever he goes. If he goes to the bathroom to take a crap, you flush the toilet. If he goes to the bathroom to take a piss, you tap off the last 2 drops. Oh, pause. Anyway, you know where Tyreek Hill is. It's 3rd and 1. 2 minutes, 49 seconds left. The Dolphins are up by 7. The Patriots have to get a stop. This is the cheetah effect. Tyreek.
All right, so what I want you to stare at here, I'm going to rewind it a couple of times. Let me make sure I've got this thing queued up so you guys can see. Is Tua's in a shotgun. He's got, I think, Raheem Mostert or somebody to his right. Watch what happens. So they've got, as I can see, 1, 2, they're rushing 4. They're showing a possibility of a blitz. And all this is pre-snap reads, right? You got it? Pre-snap. If you're Tua, what do you see? Well, I'm in a shotgun, and I can see that basically it looks like they're in a cover 2 or they're in some sort of zone, right? Watch what happens.
He's going to go in motion.
All right, so this guy, that safety, walks up. So immediately, they're giving him signals pre-snap. And this is where it just gets really crazy.
Being covered right now by Jack Jones, number 13. All
right. Number 13 has just told Tua what he's doing. Can you guys guess what he just told Tua? He's just told Tua, those other 2 guys on the field aren't covering Tyreek. I am. I'm going to have to run 40 yards to keep up with Tyreek going in motion. You remember what happened in the Giants game when they did the exact same defense and he caught them and the guy had to run all the way across the field, basically 40 yards across the field chasing Tyreek. And then Tyreek turned it up and he tried to stay with him. Remember that? So this play has already indicated to Tua what's about to happen. Number 2, you're not going to put any pressure on him, and the offensive line is basically going to give Tua a shield. So you're not going to get me off my first read, right? I'm the first read. I don't need a first read. I'm going with Tyreek all the way here. I'm throwing to the spot. All right, so
run with Tyreek Hill.
That guy is trying to keep up with Tyreek right there. His feet are flat out, and Tua can see him going. Right?
But remember what the defensive coordinator said all week long. You do not let Tyreek Hill, the cheetah, beat you. This man.
All right, so the first thing we can see play action. right? There's play action on the play. He hands it off. And then Tua, now his shoulder is in the way, but you guys can pull the tape. Tua is looking where? He knows Tyreek is probably going to be open. So that's his first read. They don't have any way to get him off that first read because they don't bring any pressure. How do you know which one was his first read and which one was his second read? Very simple.
One, Jonathan Jones, he heard the same thing. So Jonathan Jones sees Tyreek Hill running in motion. He vacates his responsibility. He's like, I'm not going to let Cheetah beat me. Jack Jones, he's like,
all right, you see where
I'm not going to let
trying to stop it so you can see what Tua is. All right, so Tua is looking at Tyreek the whole way. Tyreek is even saying, I'm blowing past this guy. How do you know that he was locked in on him?
Jalen Waddle.
Did you see Jalen Waddle come off the line of scrimmage? Do I need to rewind that? Watch Jalen Waddle off the line of scrimmage here. This is a very, very, very big thing for you guys to look at.
Problem. They let Jalen.
He comes off the line of scrimmage and he waves. Hey, man. Hey, Tua, I'm wide the F open. If he was progressing through his reads pre-snap, why would Jalen Waddle have to wave to him? Boom, boom, I'm looking. He never looked. Jalen Waddle's like, hey, man, I'm wide open. If you are my natural second progression, why would you have to wave? I'd be like, I know it's coming because he's going to look at Tyreek and then he's going to come to me. That's not what happened. He locked in on, I wish his arm wasn't in the way. He locked in on Tyreek, and then Jalen Waddle is waving his hands going, I'm wide open.
Jalen Waddle, he's sitting there, hand in the air like, hey, big dog, if they both going to run with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, okay, so right there, you can, under his armpit, you can see what he's looking at. He's looking at Tyreek. Tyreek's like, I'm about to score a touchdown because these guys can't cover me, but Tua says, I'll take the easier touchdown instead of trying to make throw a dime to Tyreek. I'm going to throw a guy to the guy waving at me with nobody standing there.
Don't forget your boy, hand up, easy 7, Dolphins score, Dolphins win. And that.
All right, so you can see it wide open there. Waddle is waving to him. You can watch any game on Sunday, and you rarely will see a receiver going, hey man, I'm what the F open. Don't miss me. I'm right here. That's the perfect indication of everything I said in my video. One, your pre-snap toasted you because he was going to go to Tyreek. Second, you didn't really get him off of his first read because his first read would have been correct. Third, most importantly, there's nobody around Tua. He's got if you can look right there, he's got all the time in the world. He's looking at that and going, okay, so where am I throwing? Oh, I'm going to throw to the guy who's waving his hands. You didn't follow up with the 3 things necessary to stop Tua Tagovailoa. You got to stop the pre-snap read. You didn't do it. You're sending guys all over the field. Belichick, you screwed up. Number 2, you didn't get to the quarterback. You didn't get anywhere near him. He's just standing there baking a cake back there. So he then could come off of his first read because you did take it away somewhat, but you didn't cover the other guy. You completely screwed up. So he went to the second read. Pretty simple. I'll put it on full screen so you guys can see it, so it's not me. Okay, so look.
What you might not know, he has an NFL record over 1,000 yards receiving.
Just watch it again.
Games. Tyreek Hill, number 10 at the bottom of the screen. Now, I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. Bear with me. All
right, so you can see it right there.
Defense all week long in meetings, they have circled this dude, and they have said, do not let Tyreek Hill beat you. The defensive coordinator walks into the meeting room. He yells at everybody and says, hey, you keep your eyes on Tyreek Hill wherever he goes. If he goes to the bathroom to take a crap, you flush the toilet. If he goes to the bathroom to take a piss, you tap off the last 3 drops. Oh, pause. Anyway, you know where Tyreek Hill is. It's 3rd and 1. 2 minutes, 49 seconds left. The Dolphins are up by 7. The Patriots have to get a stop. This is the cheetah effect. Tyreek Hill, he's going to go in motion. Being covered right now by...
Boom. As soon as Tua sees number 13 down there, decide to run with Tyreek, you've already been exposed. It's too late. It's too late. You're showing me what your pre-snap, what my pre-snap read is. You ain't gonna get there.
Jack Jones, number 13. Number 13 is going to run with Tyreek Hill. But remember what the defensive coordinator said all week long. You do not let Tyreek Hill, the cheetah, beat you. This man, number 31, Jonathan Jones, he heard the same thing. So Jonathan Jones sees Tyreek Hill running in motion.
Yeah, just look at that.
He vacates his
There's nobody on
He's
Waddle.
like,
and you can see, that's what I wanted to show you. Under his arm there, what is Tua looking at? He's not looking at Waddle. He didn't come off his first read because his first read was correct. His first read was, these guys aren't going to be able to stay with Tyreek. This is going to be a 6-point to Tyreek. Easy. You can just tell where his shoulder is. He is set. This is the play I'm going to go with, which then causes Jalen Waddle
I'm not going to let Cheetah beat me.
to raise his hands and go,
like,
dude.
I'm not going to let Cheetah beat me. Problem. They let Jalen Waddle.
Boom. And he's wide open. That one play basically showed everything I had said in my video. Everything. Your pre-snap, whatever you guys dictate up front, Bill Belichick, you made a big mistake and Tua ate you up. He is so accurate. He can see that. If you're doing it pre-snap, oh, okay, there's a movie. I can see what's going on here. And you're trying to, and before he saw Waddle open, he's like, there's no way this guy's going to run 30, 40 yards across the field and keep up with Tyreek. That ain't happening. So my pre-snap read is, as soon as Tyreek gets a head of steam up, I'm throwing it to him. I'm just waiting for him. You didn't get me off my first read. I'm ready to hit. I got plenty of time. I'm back here making a cake. My first read's gonna be open. I'm so locked in on that first read. My other guy's like, whoa, check me out, dude. There's nobody here. Throw me the ball. Easy touchdown. That alone should explain to you what people mean when they say, get him off his first read. It's not that he's a one-read quarterback. We need to get to him so he doesn't get to his second and third read. That was a complete failure by the New England Patriots. No pressure. You exposed yourself pre-snap, and then, of course, you didn't even cover the guy. So he had time, and he had a wide-open receiver. School's over. That's what it is. What do you got? Here we go. The same old trolls. You sound dumb. Tua is looking off wild. Okay, let me ask you a question. If that's true, since I'm so dumb, why the hell is Jalen Waddle waving? Why is he trying to get Tua's attention? You know what sounds dumb? You not understanding tape. You have a former NFL player showing you something. I'm showing you something. And your idiocy, which I am just completely sick of, tells you, oh, Barry, you're dumb. He was just looking him off. If he was looking him off, Jalen Waddle wouldn't be waving his hands, you moron. Ugh, God, I hate these two-and-on people. I mean, with a passion. I shouldn't say that. So you make me lose my religion. Oh, God. Yeah, another youngster who, he's probably got money on FanDuel or something. God, these people, it just drives me crazy because they speak first without knowing what the hell they're talking about. You just saw a former NFL player break it down and show you. He wasn't looking off anybody. That was his first read. Why? Because his pre-snap read told him where it was going to be open. And then his receiver had to go, hey, don't do that one. Throw it to me. Oh, he planned that. Okay, he planned that. And Jalen Waddle had to get his attention? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Daniel Millard. I wonder because Bill started the D style to try and stop us this year. I rather believe that McDaniel outcoaches again. Yeah, you just saw that. He got outcoached. Got a very good quarterback who can do a pre-snap read and sees this guy coming across. And if he had thrown it to Tyreek, there was nothing to look off. That guy wasn't going to catch Tyreek. That was probably going to be a touchdown. He just took the easier of the two. He took the much easier one with the wide receiver who was downfield going, see me, bud. See me. See me. If he was looking him off, he wouldn't do that. he would know it's coming. Don't you get it? Don't you understand how offense works? He wouldn't have to wave. He'd be like, I know it's coming to me because this is the play we called. I know he's looking him off and the ball is going to come. Not like, hey, here I am. Wow. Unbelievable. Because he's a donkey, Pablo. What's that, donkey? I see what you're saying. So you think that Armstead's going to play this weekend? Yeah, okay. Tom Stockel says, remember George Carlin's famous quote, just realize how stupid the average person is, then consider that mathematically half or worse. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And social media has allowed them to basically step out there and let everybody see their insanity. It's become one of the biggest exposés on the planet. Hey, everybody, look at me, I'm stupid. Yeah, that's what they do. And instead of saying, Barry, why did you say that? Why did Acho say that? Can you explain that to me a little bit further? Oh, you're dumb. You're dumb saying stuff like that. Yeah, right. Social media would make George Carlin want to puke. I mean, comments on involuntary personal protein spill. Love that. Oh, man. Tua threw quite a few horizontal passes during the game, make up for the lack of a running game. Yeah, I had to. I loved, people say I talk bad about Tua. Nope, this game, nothing really to talk bad. He took his check downs, he threw the ball away when it wasn't there, and he waited for his opportunity. He waited until it presented itself. And Jalen Waddle running down the field by himself, waving his hand, that's presenting yourself. You take what the defense gives you. Absolutely. Oh, you're absolutely right, James. He says Mike McDaniel designs plays like this all the time. His philosophy is if they take it away, make them pay. This offense does that. Again, understand there's two codicils I want to make sure you understand. Yes, you make the defense pay if you have the play called to do it, and their personnel is allowing you, is giving you, affording you the opportunity to take advantage. What we saw with the Buffalo Bills and what we saw with the Philadelphia Eagles is their personnel didn't allow you to take advantage of opportunities, and they were able to disguise certain other things. That's what you have to look at this Sunday, is what things can the Miami Dolphins do against the Kansas City Chiefs that are going to allow them to basically replicate the things they've been doing against these other teams. If you see a safety or a cornerback trying to run across the field to cover Tyreek, Andy Reid's a smart guy. I mean, he's basically the dean of coaches. That kind of play, Bill Belichick, I'm telling you, Monday morning was in there screaming at his defense going, what the hell were you thinking? If you didn't understand the coverage, call T right there, call timeout. But see, that part of the game, they may not have had any timeouts either. I forgot, that's right. This was late in the game. So they may not have had any more timeouts, and they were screwed. If they're absolutely screwed. So understand when people say Tua is a one-read quarterback, they don't mean he only has one read. What they mean is he locks into something very quickly because more than likely he's going to throw to a spot and hopefully it be open. So you want to confuse him at the outset. Just take away the opportunity to go to the second read by being on his ass by having a good rush and having the personnel to defend. There's three aspects to defend against the Mike McDaniel offense. Very simple. It's simple in terms of what you need. It's not simple in terms of execution. That's the problem. And I think you guys, we've been talking enough where you understand you need all three. You need a pass rush. You got to stop the run. You got to stall him on the first read to get to him. Because if you don't do, and that's where it becomes very difficult, if you can't do it, there's no way you're going to stop these guys. It's just not going to happen. So as the games progress and you see what kind of teams are coming up, just ask yourself, okay, number one, do they have a pass rush? If they don't have a pass rush, they're probably going to be toast. It's that simple. You can take that to FanDuel or DraftKings and put money on it. I don't gamble. Well, I play poker. But if you look at the schedule and go, no pass rush, okay, they're done. Just go ahead and cross them off. So that's one of the things. You got to have a pass rush. Got to have good safeties and cornerbacks. Got to be able to take me off his first read. If you can't do all three, you're done. They're going to hang 30, 40 on you. Pretty simple. Where it becomes hard is you have to be able to execute and have the personnel to execute all those steps. Other than that, you could stop them if you had the horses and you knew that you had the ability to put pressure on this quarterback. If you can't get to him, like that play, even at the end here, let me just.
Jason Waddle, he's sitting there.
Even at the end, okay, let's look at this for a second.
Air like, hey, big dog, if they both gonna run with Tyreek Hill.
All right, right there, as you can see, if you give Tua that kind of look, that kind of time, with that kind of speed on the field, you're done. That's why I say you have to have the pass rush and why this offensive line is so important. He's got all day to throw.
Don't forget your boy. Hands
He's just
up.
standing there. There's nobody around him. You can see it. If you don't have the pass rush and the guys aren't taking him off the first read, you're done. You got to have all three. You can't have one without the other. Even if these guys were on Tyreek and Waddle, the offensive line on this play and Jeff Wilson out here on the linebacker, Tua's got all day to throw. You don't have pressure, forget about it. So you can go through the schedule and just look. What teams can pressure the Miami Dolphins? And so if you want to eliminate and go through the schedule, Raiders, maybe Max Crosby, and just go through a little bit at a time, you're going to be able to see which ones could be problematic. Kansas City Chiefs have Chris Jones. One side without Teron Armstead may be problematic. So we'll see on Sunday. By the way, it's going to be basically breakfast with Barry this Sunday night. What am I talking about? This Sunday, as the game starts at 9:30 Eastern. I'll be turning things up at 9:15 in the morning. Get your donuts, get your coffee. I'll walk the dog. Go ahead and go to the gym. Get back early. 9:15 Sunday morning. 9:15, guys. So I'll see you then, and hopefully you guys have a good evening. See you in a couple of days. Just see more videos. As you've been noticing, I've been putting out a lot more content. One of the things I learned personally from the off season is I'm never going through that shit again. I'm never going through an off season where you're trying to find Dolphins content. There's too much in the world going on. There's too many different sports stories just to lock in and try to force content. So I'm starting now and making sure I broaden my audience, talk about a bunch of different things, including the Dolphins. And like I said, I'm going to broadcast the Eagles-Cowboys game on Monday. Hope you can join me for that. I'll put the notification for that up tonight. But lots of content. Not just Dolphins, sports in general. Hope you like my new show. The new show is basically 3 or 4 segments, and then the following day I cut them up into single segments. So, talk to you guys.